Hello and welcome to Lesson 1 on Basic Web Design with XHTML 1.0 Transitional. Now to get started, you're going to need your equipment software, of course. For your equipment, you can use almost any Windows computer. Anything all the way down from Windows 98 all the way up to Windows 10. This is because within each of these, we have Notepad built in. However, Notepad, while it is the requirement for this, is not the best option. The best option is Notepad++, because with it, it can automatically detect a coding language and encoding as you are using it. For example, if we go over here to HTML, anytime I type in an HTML element, for example, a title tag, it will automatically try to fill it for me, like so. But yes, I highly recommend Notepad++, and I should have a link to that in the description. The next thing you'll need, of course, is a default web browser. Many people will use Chrome and pretty much every Windows computer's default, except Internet Explorer or Edge. I recommend using Firefox because it is lightweight and fast for what you're trying to do, not necessarily as an everyday browser, but for doing coding and testing, that's my recommendation. Now for your basic setup, what you want to do is you want to open up your document like I have, set it to HTML if you're using Notepad++, and paste in this code. This is what's going to tell the computer or web browser what language this web page is going to use. So now it knows the source. Now what you have to do is do an HTML start tag. And it has to read what the HTML start tag is. So I'll paste that in here. So this is your start tag. Now I'm going to go ahead and add an end tag. Not because we're going to be ending the document, but just because we will forget it later. Now, all end tags, and start off with a normal one, like this, is got the code within the 2 carets, and then it has the code within the 2 carets with a /before it. Now, we're going to be coding in the space in between. The first stage, or really the first element of the entire page, will be your head, which is basically going to be what's going to show up on the tabs. So to do this, we type in head, and then of course put in an end tag, because we always should do that first. And there we are. In between here, that's where our title is going to go. This is what's going to show up on the main web page. So what we can do is just type in web page 1. Of course, you can type in anything here and it should be fine. That should be capitalized. Anyway, well, at least my OCD prefers. Right, there we are. So that is your first element. Now, what you want to go on and do is add in your body section. Body section is very important because this is where the entirety of what shows up on the web page, on the screen, is going to go. It's going to include stuff like paragraphs, text elements, images, video links, but we'll get all that later. So now we have that there. So I'm going to add in a simple paragraph by doing a start P. And then typing in this is a paragraph element. Well, that didn't work. Right. And then we add in this with a close B and remove any typos I would have made. Like so. And that's how that is done. So now what we do is we save as, and what I want to do is I want to go to my libraries, library documents, and go into a pre-prepared folder known as web, if I can find it. There. And then I will save it as page 1. Now if I open up right here, page 1, but I'm going to open with Firefox, and it's opening on my other monitor. Here we are. You see, we have our title up here, we have our paragraph element down here, and it's all set up. This is a simple, basic web page, and from this you can make very simple things, you know, blog entries and stuff like that if you want to. It will have to be edited from Back++. But that's as far as we're really going to go as far as coding in this lesson. Further on, of course, we're going to be going into more elements, where, for example, you can add background color, you can add drop-down lists, checkboxes, forms, you can do embedding of different things like videos, images, and such like. You can have a custom icon up here. There's lots of things you can do with XHTML 1.0, or specifically 1.1. But we won't be getting into that in this lesson, because this is simply the basics. Now, as far as some rules, everything you see in here, within these little carets, or within these quotation marks, or up here named out, those should all be in lowercase. All elements, because that's what these are called, should be in lowercase. Also, attribute values. For example, this right here, this is an attribute value, because this is an attribute equals attribute value. These should always be in quotation marks, no matter what. It has to be in quotation marks. Otherwise, it simply won't work and I won't recognize it as an attribute. It's basically how the syntax is meant to work. Also, whenever you create a tag, always make sure you close it. This is very important. However, there are some tags you don't actually have to close. They're self-closing. For example, this tag is a line break tag. If I can do it correctly, it's either that way, or is it this way, or is it the other way? In any case, there are some that are set up so that they can default, yeah, there we go, do their own type of thing there. They're self-closing. Not all are, but most of the time. For example, create another paragraph here. You should always, almost always, properly save this. So if I go back over to Documents, into Web, and open up page 01 with Firefox, it's going to open up the monitor probably. Oh no, this one. You can see this does work, but it's not properly done because the line break is stuck in the paragraph. But if we end the paragraph properly, which you should always do, it should properly set up. There we go. See? Now the line break is in between the two paragraphs we have. It's a very important thing. This may be only minor right now, like it's not that big of a thing right now. But if you forget to close a tag, for example, in an embed element, everything after that is going to get involved and is going to mess it up. Also, closing the body or closing the head could also mess things up, as well as the title big time. Because if you don't close the title or the head or start writing or anything, all this is going to go straight into the title, and you're all going to have everything up in the top corner, and it probably won't fit either. So that's the super basics of coding in XHTML 1.1. Now, in our next lesson, we'll be going on to more in-depth of different elements that are in there that are still the basic ones, but ones that you'll need. Alright, so I'll see you in the next one.